Well, hello internet world, Bullnose Zach here, and I've got a couple of updates on the Bronco. Not only did I find this sweet tube grill for 20 bucks on, actually I was buying something else from a guy and he threw this in for 20 bucks. So I do have a new upgraded tube grill. I still got the original. I mean, you can't toss the original just in case you want to go back, but got that. That's one update. So we'll call it 3 updates. The second update is I finally am starting to solve my steering issue, and I've had a bad steering issue with this thing ever since I got it. It wanders like crazy. First off was a broken frame, got that welded up, reinforced. Second thing was tie rods were wasted, replaced all the tie rods, ball joints, and it still wasn't quite right. So I finally figured out that, you know, on these bullnose Fords you've got the twin I-beam, and the pivot bushings were absolutely wasted on this thing. And so the one that was the worst was the passenger side. I went ahead and replaced that, and it is so much better. It still pulls a little bit to the right, even though the toe is pretty close to correct, but I still got to replace the other side, and hopefully that'll just make it 100%. But I will say it's over 50% better just by doing one side. So if you have that problem and you're racking your brain about it, they are a lot of times overlooked because they are a twin I-beam only. So a bullnose Ford or a two-wheel drive old Ford, maybe a 79 and older two-wheel drive will have the pivot bushings because they're also a twin I-beam. So that's something to look for. That's something I fixed or am fixing, and I finally discovered is most of my problem. So I got that going for me. Now the second thing was, I was pretty sure that this 351 was on its last leg. Burning oil like crazy, kept on fouling spark plugs. I know I've got a back cylinder here, I believe it's cylinder number 4, that is bad. And so low compression, you know, not firing real well. I keep on fouling spark plugs in the back 2 spark plugs, and so I have to keep replacing them. So I thought, I'm gonna try something before I pull this motor and re-ring it or replace it with another one. And so on Amazon for 55 bucks, I got this HEI GM style single wire ignition. I say single wire because that's all it takes to run. It does have a spot for a tachometer. It doesn't work right now. I'll get to that in a second. But I slapped this thing in for 55 bucks. And I tell you what, it runs so much better. It actually burns that oil that's getting past the rings. So if you've got a problem with a little bit of a worn out motor, before you yank it out, you might want to consider this. Throw in a little hotter ignition. Even a hotter coil for your stock ignition will probably work, but buck for buck, this was about the same as a hot coil, or even cheaper. So I went ahead and did this, and yeah, it's a Chevy distributor in a Ford, but it does the job. It actually runs pretty darn well for what it is. I would say that it runs about 20 to 30% better than it did. So what I was saying about the tachometer is, for the factory tachometer in this bullnose Ford, there's too much noise and it's not working. It actually maxes the thing out. And so what you have to do in order to get the factory tach to work with this distributor is get it's a signal filter, and you can get them. They're like 50 or 60 bucks, or you can just do an aftermarket tachometer and it's probably going to work. Now I'll probably get the filter, the noise filter for it, so that I can actually just not put a tachometer on the steering column like everybody does. But I'll get to that. I don't really need a tachometer in this thing. It's not a high performance motor. Anyways, those are the 2 updates, or the 3 updates that I've done to the Bronco since you've seen me last. Just little things, but it's running pretty good. I drive it just about every day, and one of these days I'm going to get a new motor in it. I'm not going to need this Chevy distributor, but in the meantime, it's a pretty darn good solve for the issues that I have. So I hope this helps somebody. Up to over 350 subscribers. For me, that's huge. Thanks. I appreciate that. That kind of caught me off guard. Last time I looked, I had like 100. So thank you guys for subscribing. And if you're just watching this for the first time, subscribe. You'll see more videos of just bullnose Ford pickups. I mean, I've got a few. Next up is going to be that guy. Got to do a freeze plug in that. Hopefully be video on that. So see you guys later.